Hey, folks, welcome to the Generational Gap. I am Robert, your resident Gen Xer, and right over there is John, your resident Millennial. John, how are you doing this evening, sir?
Pretty all right.
Pretty? All right. Well, I would
Not
never,
too terrible, just the right amount of terrible.
I would never call you pretty, but all right works for me, I guess. I'm always hoping for a fan fucking tastic, but that could be troublesome
if I
too.
gave them out too many, if I gave them out too many times, they wouldn't be worth anything.
Either that, or we were living in the right kind of world. One of the two, right?
Yeah.
Hey, folks, welcome to the show tonight. There's really not been a lot going on in the news lately to talk about. A little bit here and there, so we might touch on a couple of things. I don't know. I see Wyatt has popped into the chat with his
uh,
with his yo, whipping out his yo. I see that yo,
Keep that
and
yo to yourself. Right. Right. We don't need to see all that. Don't
I
want to see
will
all that.
I will see your yo, and I will raise you a yo ma.
Oh shit!
Right.
But you can't beat that.
So there we have it. Folks, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It's a moral imperative,
Yeah.
and
It's free.
it's the democratic thing to do.
Oh
Um,
god.
it's
Don't tell already. Is that?
it's the freedom thing to do.
There you
I
go.
mean,
It's the
it's a
liberty
liberty.
thing to
That
do.
is a liberty you
You are
have.
completely at liberty to hit that like button, and for a limited time, it's completely free.
Nobody can tell you you cannot hit that like button,
Right.
and if they do, I
Hit it
say you
harder.
hit it again
That's
and
right.
again.
Except for the like button, because that'll just turn it off.
Well, as long as it's as long as you get color out of it, you want a color out of it. But
Right.
yeah, don't listen to me. I'm not here tonight. This is my
That's
this is my
true.
this is my stand-in double. Uh, hey, I just want to throw something quick out there. Speaking of liberty, Texas, they're filing this year. They're going to put legislation
Or,
forth to try and secede again this year. They're gonna,
no,
or
what?
this next election, whatever is coming up, right? They're putting it before the state. They're drawing it up. So it's actually they're saying it's actually gonna they're actually putting it forward for the first time in a long, long fucking time, and they expect it's going to succeed this time.
Oh, man, I hope so. That would be amazing. That would
Right.
be
So
some real history shit right there.
right.
Also, we got Pagan Pilgrim Purgatory asking, "Are you guys lovers?" Only sometimes.
Uh,
Never on stream.
well,
Never on stream.
I think it's important to understand what someone means by lovers. There's a very broad spectrum
I
of
mean, we're
love.
both lovers of pizza,
I
right? I
mean,
mean, we both
right?
love some pizza.
Well, John, you actively love things, right?
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I actively love things. So technically that makes us lovers
That's true.
of things, of
Right.
anything and people, and we're lovers. So technically, yes, we are.
Yeah.
But do we consummate that love? Which I think is the most important question here.
Only sometimes. Again,
And that answer
that's my
is,
answer.
I will say, I've seen his feet.
That's true. He has seen my feet. Not many
So
people can say that.
when it's all said and done, I will reserve a comment as to whether or not they were on the ground at the time when I saw them. All right. So Pagan says, "Hope they succeed in seceding." I'm loving it. Right?
Yeah, that'll be pretty sweet if they do.
That's how you
I
make
might
us.
have to be like, oh, guess I'm moving to Texas.
If they if they do manage to pull it off,
Not going to, but I don't think they're going to.
but if
But
it were to
yeah.
happen, I wonder how many states would follow suit.
Oh yeah, it would be a domino effect for sure. I don't think like tons of states will, but I think several more, at least three or four more
Do you
will.
think do you think that would spread from state to state faster than legal marijuana?
Yes, yeah, yeah, for
Okay.
sure. Yeah,
See, so I mean, there's a good benchmark there, that
yeah.
we can
I
judge
think
things like this by.
Florida, judging based on today, uh, I think Florida might be one to do that at some point. I don't know. Maybe not though. Maybe not. Hang on. Now that I'm rethinking that, because we got a lot of major corporation that kind of makes up most of our revenue in this state.
Yeah.
Like you
Well,
got Disney,
yeah.
Universal,
So you know
like
who
those
the the arch emperor would be. I mean,
Mickey Mouse. Oh.
Emperor Mousepatine.
Right.
Um, but yeah, when it's all said and done, it's I if Florida did something like that, we would have another wall going up. I could, I mean, and not from us doing it. Other states would be like, okay, now we have an excuse to put up a wall because there's a country we don't want any immigrants from,
In
legal
Florida,
or
yeah.
otherwise.
Like Florida, we should definitely put up a wall. You know how easy it would be? Border goes pretty much straight across.
Yeah, but it would have to be so long. It sucks.
It wouldn't be as long as like the actual national border in to Mexico.
At least you have natural boundaries at the ends with ocean on on either end of
That's
where
what I'm
that wall
saying.
would
You got a
be. That's
natural, yeah,
great.
you got a
Yeah.
natural boundary. We could probably give up some of that. No, I don't want to give up the peninsula.
Hey,
The panhandle. I mean, I don't want to
Pag-
give up the panhandle.
Pagan's got a request.
Oh, feet are erogenous. I don't think I know that word.
Erogenous?
Yeah,
An
yeah, maybe I'm
erogenous
mistaken.
zone? You don't know what an erogenous zone is?
Now that you say
Jesus
it,
Christ.
it sounds familiar. I don't know.
Like when a girl blows on your ear or you nibble on a girl's neck
Oh, right, right. Okay,
and
yeah,
there's like
yeah.
one spot on her neck that really gets her going
Right,
or
right.
on
No, I
her
know exactly what you're
on
talking
the
about.
palm of
Yeah.
her hand or on the back of her knee or
Well, that's where the
sometimes
fourth
along
hole is. Yeah.
right along that calf
Hmm.
and you just but anyway,
Maybe
so
he says maybe I should right now.
yeah,
Andy gave an ice cream. So, but no. I think what did I set
yeah.
my price at? I
I
forget.
believe you set
Something
your
like
price
five
at
grand.
$500 last time we were doing a charity stream.
Oh yeah, that was for a charity stream though. Overall though, 5 grand.
And I have to let you know, Pagan, just FYI, John and I have known each other and been really good friends for how many years now?
5 or 6. No, more than that. Probably 6 or 7.
And spent a lot of time together,
Yeah.
like in person, right?
Right. In person
Um,
mostly.
so when I say I've seen his feet, it was a rare occasion because John is usually shod at all
Yeah.
times. Like
There's
sometimes I
reasons
wonder
for
if he
that.
doesn't sleep in his shoes.
I don't. I don't sleep in my shoes, but there are a couple of reasons why I wear shoes all the time. One, my feet are super sensitive,
Whatever.
like ridiculously. Like my feet are super ticklish to the point where I can tickle my own feet, and you're not supposed to be able to tickle yourself. But like, I'll be taking my socks off or something, like of a
I
little
see some
jump or
torture
something.
porn in your future.
Yeah, I'm not into that though. If I
All
was into
right.
that, that would be another thing. I'll be so happy, and I'll be doing a completely different job right now. but but I'm not into that. So no. So there's that, and then also I like to be ready to go at any point. Like if we're sitting around as friends and we're like, oh, you want to go do this? Oh yeah, yeah, okay, let's go. Well, now I
So
gotta go fucking put my shoes on. Gonna sit there, put some socks on, and put some shoes on. No, I'm ready to go. I'm ready.
so
Let's
you're
go.
saying
Where
you're a
we
big
going?
basically what you're saying is you're a big sissy on the lam. Like running from the law. What did you do, John? What do you
Well, I'm not gonna
I
talk
got to
about it
be
here.
ready to piece
Jeez.
the fuck out at any moment. I got to be good.
Yeah.
Pagan does give us props. He says 7 years is a long time for a gay couple. That's great. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes. I have to admit, I'm surprised we've been together this long.
He says he'll be back for sure. Well, I mean, you don't have to go anywhere. I don't
Yeah.
know. Appreciate the ice cream though.
put that
Yeah.
thumbs up to good use and stay around for a while.
Yeah, man. Stick around.
Um, Another thing, hey, if you folks want to look out there for it, I don't know how many of you have heard, but apparently there was a large dump from the federal government of UFO files, like that were declassified. I guess a big, supposedly it's supposed to be a big treasure trove on a CD, and then there was a site, and I wish I can't find the link again, so it may have been somewhat bogus, but this was an actual news article. You have to look it up and check, John. I was going to do it for another show, but I'm just putting it out there if you want to check into it yourselves. But did see some of the PDFs that were involved, and they were so heavily redacted, and some of the most horrible scans. I was telling John off mic, it looked like they had scanned them into computers in the 1930s. That's how bad the PDFs were, and I'm like, what kind of info, and even was saying that the PDFs were searchable, and I'm like, search what? Black text, black black splotches. Search Rorschach blotch.
That's what it looks like.
Right? But I was like, I don't know what kind of information we're going to glean from this, and it really sucks because this is not what the files look like that they're looking at in Washington, and
Right.
I'm appalled. Anytime they release information and it's so heavily fucked with and redacted that it's just impossible to read otherwise. But anyway, there's supposed to be a lot of new, supposed to be a lot of new new accounts and new information, government shit that went on in these. I don't know. All the stuff that they say they give you. But
Right.
for you ufologists out there, but um, you know, everything else has been quiet in the news. Well, there's been something a little something in Washington going on the last couple
Yeah.
of days, which has been a little bit weird, um, which prompted me to go look at the White House website. And I did find this little tidbit, and I thought it was interesting. I just wanted you to hear this. So you know what artificial intelligence is, right?
Right.
And you can assume that our government is looking into it, right? They want to,
Naturally.
they want to pursue it. Of course, if there's going to be AI, we want to be the first ones with our hands on it, right?
Yeah.
That's how it
Or at
works.
least the first ones to militarize it.
Well, for the last 4 years, the administration has been committed to strengthening our leadership in artificial intelligence. So uh, they have finally managed to issue the first ever national AI strategy. And when it comes to AI, they are literally doubling down on AI, committed to doubling AI research investments, and established the first ever national AI research institutes. Released the and It also has regulatory guidance for first AI, international AI alliances to be established, and guidance for federal use of AI. So they already plan to implement it, right? This is like this is the whole strategy. It's like getting to it, making it happen, and here's what we're going to do with it. So I thought that was interesting. So they're really, he's finally got something in place that's going to like push us or attempt to push us forward with AI, which I think is going to be something working hand in hand very well with his Space Force initiative. Um, or,
Yeah.
or the question would be this: when Biden comes into office, what happens to Space Force?
It's probably going to be still going. I mean, why wouldn't it?
You don't think they'll try and scrap it because of
No.
cost and this, that, and the other?
That was a good one. Because
Well, no, because they could take
anyone in
money.
government cares about the
Well,
cost.
no, not if they can take the money that's being put into Space Force
No.
and apply it to socialist programs. Wouldn't
No,
they
no,
want to
no. They'll
do that?
just print more. No, they'll just print more.
Oh, gotcha,
Yeah, you don't need
gotcha.
to take money from one thing. That would be too responsible. No, no, no. We're just gonna print more. It'll be fine.
Do I see Ron Helton?
I do. He's putting up a "How dare you" sticker. How dare you?
But so it's just, I thought that was interesting. I came across that while I was looking at other stuff that's more relevant to what's going on right now. But this just happened within the last couple of, what day was this that they put this out? Yeah, this happened yesterday. What's today? The 13th? Yeah. So this was yesterday that they put this strategy out. So it's, it, I'll say this with a grain of salt. I mean, to me, that's a positive thing he did while in office, right? I mean,
Yeah,
I'm kind of on board with getting us to AI, but I also have a sense of trepidation about us getting to AI,
naturally. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I would rather money go to that than other things.
Well, that's why the concept of VI is better. Virtual intelligence. It's much more limited than a true AI is.
Um, so uh, a lot's been going on the last couple of days in Washington. It's really the last week, of course, is I don't know. I kind of feel like we're living in a political pundit's wet dream, for some of this, right? It's just, it's like, dear God, how could this be any more hilarious? I don't know if you been following much of the information that's going on with some of the arrests they're making, the people they're taking in.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
I don't have names pulled up and everything, but you can kind of point to certain people, and like the fellow that was all dressed up with the antlers and everything. Apparently, he was a shaman.
Right.
You saw this.
Yeah.
He considers himself a shaman. He was there. Uh, he was on on
It's all
camera
like peyote or
saying,
something.
he was telling them that he was there to help protect and ward off evil spirits, witches,
Hmm.
warlocks, all these different things. And then they arrested him. And then when he gets in, he goes to jail.
I know.
He
Yeah.
refuses to eat the food until they bring him
Right.
only organic food, because
Right.
he's a shaman, and
Right.
it's against his religion to eat anything that's not organic.
Right. Makes sense.
And I'm like, wow.
And if you look at some of the pictures of him, you can see it in his eyes. Like you and I both know. You
The
can look at
effects
someone's
of
eyes
the
and
effects of
see,
hallucinogens.
right, dude's got it. He's got that look. Yeah.
He's got the spirit sight. Is that what you're telling me?
Right. Yeah,
He's
pretty
got
much.
the
That dude has
spirit sight.
done, yeah, that dude has done some stuff. Yeah.
Um but but they got the guy that was in Pelosi's office, of course, right? We know about that guy, and the guy with the podium, and there was another guy that was arrested all in furs. They tried to make a big deal out of this guy, because when he was coming out, he was when he was getting out, or he was being going from one facility to another, he was wearing Star Wars pajama pants.
Dude, I own a pair of Star Wars pajama pants. All right, don't knock it, man. They're comfortable as
But
fuck.
he had been at the inside the Capitol building in pelts, furs,
Yeah, yeah.
things like this, right? So of course it becomes mockable, right? Um, one
I
ch-
guess.
I saw, but people rolling on other people is happening all over the place. Oh, one woman I saw today, she's a lesbian, and her mother kicked her out a few times over the lesbian thing, arguments about being a lesbian, and her being going to Black Lives Matter protests and everything.
Mhm.
And then she was watching videos, and her mother was in the audience and was in an altercation and got her punched in the face by another woman. And she's like, "That's my mom." Called her out on she saw two other relatives there with her mom. She called them out online and everything, identified who
Uh,
they. I'm like, God damn, y'all are, whoo,
yeah, they
folks are.
wilding out there, man. They wilding.
So I don't, this, and all I was getting were these vibes of listen, all these, you look at old movies and you hear about just historical talk and everything, brother against brother, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah. 100%.
oh,
Yeah.
stop, don't, you know,
Yeah.
stop turning on people. Just, oh, I want to be the one to get somebody in trouble. I want to be that person. I got to do it.
Yeah.
I got to get them in
Did you
trouble.
get those sweet upvotes and likes and stuff on social media?
Right? It's
You might even get a
amazing to
few
me,
retweets or two,
right?
you know?
I got to go viral. I got to have my
Oh my
15
God.
minutes. And all it takes is rolling on somebody close to me, because we have differences, or, whatever. One woman turned in her ex-husband that he was
Mhm.
identified at the rallies and everything. I'm like, God
Joke's
damn
on her though. He can't pay alimony when he's in jail. So
it.
joke's on her. He's not getting that sweet paycheck anymore.
And then I'm watching all over the media. They're like tracking where everyone is going. Okay, well, this place is shut down for people to talk, so they're all migrating here and there, trying, constantly being outed in the mainstream media for where they're going to talk their seditious talk,
God,
their
that's the worst shit.
insurrectionist speak, as it were. Um, but through all of this, there are still moments. So today, this morning, and I hate the way that they do things. Well, maybe the White
Mhm.
House timed it this way in how they released it, um, but Trump made another video today, and they sent it out, but they it looks like they waited and put it out after uh, just one. John, hold on one second. Close the door.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. Give me a minute. Okay. Go tell grandma. I'll be. I don't. I think she was saying the TV isn't working. Sorry, that was my granddaughter. Oh, speaking of which, sorry, got to interject here. So I made the announcement, right? There was going to be a new one on the way.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just found out today there's two new ones going to be on the way.
Oh no.
Two, two,
Oh no.
two stepdaughters at the same time.
Oh, I thought okay, I thought it was twins. I
No,
didn't know
no,
it
no,
was
no,
both of them.
no, no. It's both of them because the other one is up in the just left and got married.
I
Um,
didn't know she got married. I just knew she
yeah, yeah,
left.
yeah. It was
Yeah.
a very sudden thing. Yeah. Well,
Ah,
kind of. Well,
okay.
it's sudden as far as an older person would consider it, but not as sudden
Oh,
as
okay.
shit that we've all done when we were young. You know,
Well,
right?
yeah.
Hold on one second, John, and I'll jump back in here. I just got to close this door because either that or we're gonna get some loud noises in here. Be
All
right
right.
back.
All right. So yeah, breakdown with Birkenhoff. Wyatt, what's up, dude? He says lots of hunting. I'm not sure what you mean, lots of hunting, but yeah, fair enough. Lots of hunting, I guess.
Okay. So,
Yeah, no, we're back. It's a good thing we it's a good thing we only had one comment so far.
but no. So what I was going to say was there are some interesting moves, but Trump came out this morning and he made another video, and when they timed it putting it out, they put it out after the vote on the impeachment today, which I'm sure you're aware of. Most people are aware of that.
I watched it happen. Yeah,
The
I watched
House
it happen.
passed a vote to impeach, though of course that still means it's got to go through the Senate. I
Right.
mean, I don't expect it's going to go through, and
Really.
there's yeah, and there's a couple of reasons why.
Okay.
But I think it's important that, based on the fact that Trump made this and he wanted it to get out, he wanted to make sure it was put out, and so they even talked to social media companies about making, trying to make sure this got out on different sites and stuff. But anyway, I'm going to play it because I think it's, I mean, it's important to me that it be shared, and I want to be part of the sharing it out there, making sure everyone is seeing it. Um, blah blah blah. You
Right.
know, because the guy's got a right to be heard.
I want to speak to you tonight about the troubling events of the past week. As I have said, the incursion of the U.S. Capitol struck at the very heart of our republic. It angered and appalled millions of Americans across the political spectrum. I want to be very clear. I unequivocally condemn the violence that we saw last week. Violence and vandalism have absolutely no place in our country and no place in our movement. Making America great again has always been about defending the rule of law, supporting the men and women of law enforcement, and upholding our nation's most sacred traditions and values. Mob violence goes against everything I believe in and everything our movement stands for. No true supporter of mine could ever endorse political violence. No true
Hmm.
supporter of mine could ever disrespect law enforcement or our great American flag. No true supporter of mine could ever threaten or harass their fellow Americans. If you do any of these things, you are not supporting our movement, you are attacking it, and you are attacking our country. We cannot tolerate it. Tragically, over the course of the past year, made so difficult because of COVID 19, we have seen political violence spiral out of control. We have seen too many riots, too many mobs, too many acts of intimidation and destruction. It must stop. Whether you are on the right or on the left, a Democrat or a Republican, there is never a justification for violence. No excuses, no exceptions. America is a nation of laws. Those who engaged in the attacks last week will be brought to justice. Now I am asking everyone who has ever believed in our agenda to be thinking of ways to ease tensions, calm tempers, and help to promote peace in our country. There has been reporting that additional demonstrations are being planned in the coming days, both here in Washington and across the country. I have been briefed by the U.S. Secret Service on the potential threats. Every American deserves to have their voice heard in a respectful and peaceful way. That is your First Amendment right. But I cannot emphasize that there must be no violence, no law breaking, and no vandalism of any kind. Everyone must follow our laws and obey the instructions of law enforcement. I have directed federal agencies to use all necessary resources to maintain order. In Washington, D.C., we are bringing in thousands of National Guard members to secure the city and ensure that a transition can occur safely and without incident. Like all of you, I was shocked and deeply saddened by the calamity at the Capitol last week. I want to thank the hundreds of millions of incredible American citizens who have responded to this moment with calm, moderation, and grace. We will get through this challenge just like we always do. I also want to say a few words about the unprecedented assault on free speech we have seen in recent days. These are tense and difficult times. The efforts to censor, cancel, and blacklist our fellow citizens are wrong and they are dangerous. What is needed now is for us to listen to one another, not to silence one another. All of us can choose by our actions to rise above the rancor and find common ground and shared purpose. We must focus on advancing the interests of the whole nation, delivering the miracle vaccines, defeating the pandemic, rebuilding the economy, protecting our national security, and upholding the rule of law. Today I am calling on all Americans to overcome the passions of the moment and join together as one American people. Let us choose to move forward united for the good of our families, our communities, and our country. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America. My fellow Americans,
So,
Stop.
couple of things.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I want to
Uh,
hear your reactions to that.
so one, that is a damn nice suit. Like I know he always wears nice suits, but you don't usually get to see him that far up close or that closely, I guess. That is a damn nice suit. I just want to say I'm kind of jealous.
Gotcha.
Phenomenal suit. Um, the other thing is clearly the first at least half of that video is some serious CYA. Like it is, he's like, oh,
So you're saying you're feeling a CYA vibe right off the bat?
yeah, I think he's trying to, protect his maybe not his legacy because that's pretty much gone. Um, I think it's more of a court thing or like a law, a legal thing. I got to say this stuff so that they can't use it against me or whatever, or my legal defense can use this, in court. So I think there was a lot of that because I mean there was just some straight up like inaccuracy in there, such as like violence is, there's never an excuse for violence.
Well. Now,
Which of course there is, right? But
let me pause you there, and we'll talk
Mhm.
about the latter part of it. But that when you say that, that
Mhm.
almost gives credence to what a lot of the support for the impeachment in the House, particularly from the handful of Republicans that also added their 10 votes to that impeachment,
Yeah.
um, was the idea that he did not swiftly and immediately take action to shut
Right.
that down. And if you're telling me that you feel like he's covering his ass,
Mhm.
does that not give some credence to what they say, and that they're justified in saying that may have been responsible in part for that?
No, I don't think that means that he's responsible for it. I think they were
I,
going to
I
do that
said
either
in
way.
part. I said in part.
No, I think they were going to do that either way, even if Pence had done supposedly the right thing. Now, whether they would have gone inside the Capitol building or not is a different thing, but they would have been at the Capitol building either way.
Now
And
you
there were other instances of violence that happened outside of the Capitol building as well. I think those would have still happened.
now I back up for a second, and when you say what you said about Mike Pence again, if Mike Pence had
If he had actually done what Trump was telling him to do,
gotcha.
yeah,
Now I've you know as far as that's concerned, Mike Pence refused to
right,
do anything about the 25th Amendment. He told Nancy Pelosi specifically. I mean, he wrote a letter to her, and he says, but now with just 8 days, and he addresses his shock over the Capitol building and all of this, blah
naturally,
blah
yeah,
blah,
yeah,
right?
whatever. We don't need to, yeah, whatever.
But now, with just 8 days left in the president's term, you and the Democratic caucus are demanding that the cabinet and I invoke the 25th Amendment. I do not believe that such a course of action is in the best interest of our nation or consistent with our Constitution. Last week, I did not yield to pressure to exert power beyond my constitutional authority to determine the outcome of the election, and I will not now yield to efforts in the House of Representatives to play political games at a time so serious in the life of our nation. Now, that to me does not sound like someone sucking Trump's dick, right? That
Right? No, I
that
didn't.
is
It
that
was, yeah,
now is that is what I want to hear from someone.
hmm,
Yeah, he he's not playing. He doesn't want to play the game. He did what he had to.
right,
He didn't have the authority to do one thing. He doesn't, and he doesn't feel the need to exercise the authority to do the other because he doesn't feel like
right,
it meets the constitutional requirement. Fine. I got to applaud Mike Pence for where his stance has been throughout this. He could have been much more hands off, but he has a job to do, and I think he's attempted to do it in the right way. If it's true that it's not constitutional either for him to have done either thing, I give him credit for that, for sticking to his guns as far as that's concerned. Because that's what
yeah,
you want, right? You want a politician that's going to follow the Constitution.
yeah. I
For
mean,
Yeah, right. I mean, for the most
right,
part,
right, yeah, yeah, as much as possible, yeah, as
not his
much
in
as they, as much as they're willing to, yeah.
right. So jumping over to the chat, Ron Helton's had a little bit to say.
A lot to say,
He said
yeah,
McConnell said he would not bring it to the floor of the Senate for a vote. The demons have lost their minds, and that is true.
yeah.
They're
See, I didn't hear about that.
but even Chuck Schumer was saying that they're not going to call an emergency session to try and have a vote on the 19th. Just to impeach Trump. He said because they're going to be convened at the time till the inauguration. He said
Yeah,
they're not going to call a special session, and it requires that both the majority leader and the minority leader are both in concert to have it done. And he said there's got to be 100% approval all the way across in Senate. And no, it's not going to happen. We're not going to. So they're really not going to have an opportunity to impeach Trump
right,
before he's no longer a sitting president anyway. Now, the
right.
you know, so I think that's applaudable too. It's like, no, this is not an emergency situation. Sit the fuck down.
Yeah,
Uh, he says there is nothing sacred about this mafia government, but yeah, whatever, Orange Man.
yeah, I
The
agree.
government is not the country. It is illegitimate. It stopped obeying the
Yeah,
Constitution decades ago. Nation of laws, right? Laws for the common man and none of the elite. Sure. Have our voice heard. Meanwhile, social media is squashing any and all dissent against this
Yeah.
nonsense. Um, Fortress DC, no surprise there, just like the days of the Civil War. He said it out loud. Uh, you're speaking into the great dark abyss on that one. The tech giants have been gaslighting and censoring us for 4 years. No, they don't do that. Come on, not them. Come on. No. He is not even party responsible. He said to march peacefully to the Congress and protest the
He
steal.
did, yeah. He
Uh,
did say that. He did say the
um,
bill would
but
is
he used
to do
he
that.
but he used words that could be taken out of context.
Yes, but I'm saying in a court,
Oh, right.
that's not going to work. Yeah.
But yeah, that doesn't matter. What matters is getting him to the court, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
This
Yeah. No,
is
I
the
know. Yeah.
show of getting him to the court. Now this is
Right.
the second. He's the first president to ever be impeached twice by the House,
Or the house. Yeah.
right? Oh, see, and that's like, oh, look, there's another mark on your legacy post there.
Yeah. Exactly.
Boom.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm going to go down in history. You damn Skippy, one way or
Yeah.
the
He
other.
is. Yeah.
There is no bad press, isn't that what they say?
That's what
Uh,
they say.
the left is just hopping mad that we dared to question their outright dishonesty.
Yeah. It's true.
Pence lied. It was his duty to question those questionable state electors. Read the Constitution. Um, well, yes, but he if and that was the problem with it not getting through any courts
Yeah.
because of that it didn't give him a credible leg to stand on to say yes it's questionable, let's pause this. And
Yeah.
he's not a judge. That I think that's the problem, is what I would have
Right.
run into, is I'm not a judge who can say all of these other judges are wrong, but maybe I'm wrong in that as well. uh, Now he covers his ass by refusing to invoke the 25th Amendment, those his spineless behavior made, even though his spineless behavior made things worse. But he doesn't. I mean, unless he's planning, I don't know if he's going to go back into politics, try and get
I
into
doubt it.
Congress somewhere or whatever, because like he's done. I mean, nobody would pick him for a running mate again. I don't even think
Yeah.
Trump would take him for his running mate again.
No, I mean, I don't think Trump's going to run again. Even if he's allowed to, I don't think he's
Right,
going to.
right.
There's no need for him to. There's no reason.
He says he had the authority to reject those electors. He decided to be a statist, and I
Well,
understand.
we all know Mike Pence is a statist, though. I mean, sorry.
And I understand he had the authority to reject those, but that also Trump also felt like he had the authority to, like, I don't know, I want to say handpick the electors that would take their place. Like
Right.
he wanted to have a hand in the electors that were going to take their place,
And
and
I
that
honestly don't know what the limits are for him for
right.
that. I honestly don't
Right.
know.
But he was trying
I'm
to
not
have
a,
him. It was definitely talked about that he was trying to have influence in picking
yeah.
electors, if those could be rejected. And that I have a problem with as well. And especially if it's something that's like allowed. I'm like, what? Whoa. Back up.
Yeah.
That's the wrong way to do it. The right way was for Pence to reject those electors. Certification of electors is not just a pomp and circumstance moment; it is to validate those electors. Pence failed to
Right.
act. The first
Yeah.
impeachment was illegitimate as well, and they knew it. But that does not stop the Dems from covering up their own litter box through projection. Right?
Right.
Uh,
100%. Yeah.
yeah, he agrees. Pence is finished. There is no upside for Trump to run again.
Right.
Well,
There's nothing to gain from it.
well, now watch. It's going to be interesting to see how Ivanka, because she's starting to make moves to try and protect herself and her future possibilities in political office. So I'm wondering, after after the transition of power, if things calm down, I wonder how much she's going to distance herself from her father.
I mean, it would be wise politically
Hmm.
to do that. Yeah.
So speaking of distancing from Donald Trump, now I thought this was interesting.
Well, hang on
Uh,
real quick because
oh,
a wild seawall has
oh,
appeared. And
what
what's
is
all
all
this
this about
about
peaches?
peaches? Peaches for me. You ever heard that song, Peaches? President of the United States. It's actually the name of the band.
No,
Otis.
I don't know if I have or
Yeah,
not.
it's a silly little. but it's catchy. It'll be stuck in your head for like 2 weeks. Check it out, Peaches by Potus.
Right.
Potus.
Um, so while I was on the White House page looking at stuff, one of the things I came across was a Melania Trump put out on the 11th, 2 days ago, her own statement, right? And what I found was I found it kind of interesting, and I want you to hear, as she, of course, she talks a little bit about COVID and the struggles and times that we've had been going out and blah, 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 and then what happened at the Capitol and the
Mhm.
death. But this paragraph stuck out, and you tell me if you see what I'm seeing in this.
Okay.
I am disappointed and disheartened with what happened last week. I find it shameful that surrounding these tragic events there has been salacious gossip, unwarranted personal attacks, and false misleading accusations on me from people who are looking to be relevant and have an agenda. This time is solely about healing our country and its citizens. It should not be used for personal gain. Did you see the part that jumped out in that for me? Because this is a statement she put out addressing America, right?
Right. You said it's about me.
On me, right?
Right.
And the key, the thing that really drove that home for me is she doesn't talk about her husband in the entire statement
Right.
until the very end. And she says, "It has been the honor of my lifetime to serve as your First Lady. I want to thank the millions of Americans who supported my husband and me over the past 4 years and shown the incredible impact of the American spirit. I'm grateful to all of you for letting me serve you on platforms which are dear to me." I think that
You're gonna
I
be
thought that
alright.
was funny because her platforms were really nothing. I mean, the one thing that do you remember the one platform she really stood out, minorly stood out for?
No.
Her platform, she had a platform on bullying
Oh,
and
okay,
how
yeah.
much they mocked that because she was
Right.
married to Donald Trump.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so that's the only time she talked. The millions of Americans who supported, and note what she. Let's read into that word, supported my husband and me over the.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. It's just like really, you know, like immediately my mind flashed to um, say what you want, but Hillary Clinton. Even for a show of face, she would have talked about her husband, like she did whenever he was in trouble with his impeachment. And she stood behind
Right.
her man. Remember, they were playing the Dolly Parton song and
Oh
everything.
God.
Or is it Dolly Parton, Stand By Your Man? No, Helen Reddy. Oh, no. God
I
damn,
don't.
Linda Ronstadt. God
I know
damn,
the
I can't
song you're
remember.
talking about, but I don't
But
know
anyway,
who it was.
yeah. So but no, yeah. She just doesn't even mention him. Doesn't talk about any of that. And but a lot of people are, of course, there's lots of pools on how long she's going to be with him after
Right.
he's out of office. So I don't know, John. Do you want to? Maybe we should start our own pool, the Gen Gap pool, on how long their marriage will last after inauguration day.
All right. What's the over under on a year?
I don't know what that means.
With over under? Pretty self-explanatory. Take a
Gotcha.
year and you bet on if it's going to be less than a year or more than a year.
Mm.
That's what over under is.
Oh. Oh, well, you couldn't say any more than a year. I would say a year would have to be the over under.
That's what I say. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, no, I'm just agreeing with you. It'd have to be.
yeah, yeah.
You couldn't go much. I don't think 2 years is. That's really pushing it.
Right,
That's too broad a window.
right, exactly.
uh, Helen says the floor for a vote to the president. This would have been over and done by law. And that's all I have to say about that. The election, not.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
time to get another piece of arm candy done. Well,
That's
he's got, I mean, maybe this
right.
would be the opportunity that he's been looking for,
Go after
and and to get convince Melania or Ivanka to get a divorce from Jared, and maybe they could,
do a little incest.
he could be the first husband.
She finds herself, trapped in the dryer one day, like that fucking the step sister meme or whatever.
Right? Well,
Like, what are you doing, step bro? And she's like stuck in the dryer.
right.
Yeah.
Like her skirt's lifting up while she's being
Right.
sworn in. What are you doing, stepdad?
Right. No, that's weird. Okay, maybe just a little bit. Oh my god.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, I can't believe we just went there. But it is kind of funny. No, no, it would be awesome. They would come out with some elaborate story of how she was like I don't know, she was artificial insemination because he's actually sterile, like, and it's been a big
Right.
secret
So
that all his kids were from artificial insemination.
they're not actually biologically, related, I
Right,
guess.
and every
Yeah.
child that's come out of the woodwork over the years has just been publicity stunts, and
Right.
he's been paying them off for years because he's got so much money to blow. So Ivanka's not actually his daughter; she literally is his stepdaughter. So they just have to get married in a state where that's legal.
Yeah.
See, and I'm sure there's one of 50 that's possible,
At least, yeah.
right? Something's possible in. I mean, there's always something possible in some state. You can do
Or
well.
internationally. I
Well,
mean,
there, yeah,
fucking,
but then it doesn't mean that doesn't have to hold on American soil
I guess, yeah.
unless it's a religious. There's a religious background to it.
Right.
Maybe that's the direction they would go. Uh,
Right.
but anyway, so yeah, so I don't know, man. Melania might be peacing out because I really didn't get a vibe that she was like in support of her husband in that. It seemed a little, what the hell?
I
But
mean, assuming he gets to keep all of his, perks for being an ex-president, Secret Service, detail for the rest of his life, pension, all that kind of stuff. As soon as that's over with, she can just leave, and then she gets the same thing and a shitload of money. I mean, she's set for her and her grandchildren are set for the rest of their lives. I mean, I don't see a downside to that.
right.
And then you're out of the media forever. Other than, of course, initially when everyone's like, "Oh, look, haha, Trump's so dumb, he got divorced again." As soon as that's over with in like 2 months or so, then the rest of your life is fucking smooth sailing. I
Right.
don't see why not. It seems like a prudent move to make.
Um, they also he put into effect on the 11th, um, from the 11th to the 24th in D.C. State of emergency,
Right.
and he put the Department of Homeland Security and FEMA in charge of it.
Oh
And
God.
he said that they have to coordinate. They will coordinate all disaster relief efforts, which have the purpose of alleviating the hardship and suffering caused by the emergency on the local population, and to provide appropriate assistance for required emergency measures authorized under Title V of the Stafford Act to save lives and to protect property and public health and safety, and to lessen or avert the threat of a catastrophe in the District of Columbia. In other words, Department of Homeland Security has carte blanche to use whatever resources, because it will be provided at 100% federal funding, to do whatever is necessary to lessen or avert the threat of catastrophe in the District of Columbia. They are going to lock that motherfucking place down
Yeah.
hard.
Right.
And Biden actually, he's like, I'm not afraid to have an inauguration outdoors. I'm like, motherfucker, do you know how far bullets can travel these days? I think he's stupid to be out in public. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not.
I mean, I
I
know that
disavow anything, any kind
yeah,
of violence or anything like that. What I'm
I was gonna say
saying
the same
is,
thing. Yeah.
I think it's a risky move with the current state of affairs to have the inauguration out in public. I think it is. It's
I think they
asking.
have to, though. I
It's
think they
at
have to
why?
for appearances.
But
He
is it?
cannot. He cannot start his term looking like he's scared. He
That's
cannot do it.
that's
Uh,
inviting catastrophe.
right. But what I'm saying is though that he cannot start that term looking like he's scared. He just cannot. In fact, one of the things I'll say that was great about Bush is when the time when the 9/11 happened, he was very calm. He was very, we have to, live our lives. Don't live in fear. These sorts of things. That was something that he did very well. Was he was able to keep everyone calm, and took like he was assertive. He was very much a leader in that moment, and that's what Biden needs to do here. He can't show because as soon as he shows any kind of fear, that's it for him. There will be no confidence in him. No one will want to follow him. He has to be a leader.
Well, it's yeah, it's there's just
And I,
it's
I agree with you,
I
Ron Elton. He says Biden was hiding in his basement during the pandemic fear scare. He already is weak. We know he is weak. I'm just saying that he can't appear weak. When it comes to inauguration, right? Hiding in his basement or whatever, every other world leader and their mothers were doing that too. That was considered, at least in the public sphere, that's considered to be acceptable, I guess. Um, but when it comes to inauguration, this is a big moment every 4 years or every 8 years in America. To change that now would be that would have drastic consequences on the rest of his term. Just wouldn't be a good idea for him to do. Just from like an optics perspective, and
um
being completely objective. Obviously, I think he's weak. I think he's a coward. I think all these other things about him. But whenever if you're looking at how the world is going to perceive it, you can't do it. You can't do like a virtual inauguration.
um I I I immediately consider external threats as well through
Right.
factions within the U.S. That have nothing to do with anything but just because if somebody were to do something, they have somebody perfect. It's not like there aren't perfect people to blame it on, right? So if you can pull something off and blame it on the right wing extremists,
Right.
but you're actually operating from outside the country.
Right.
Foreign influence in that kind of situation is not not inconceivable at all. I'm just saying.
It's not
Like
inconceivable, but I mean, the
I mean,
Secret Service is pretty damn good at their job. So I don't know. I
I
mean,
don't I don't know, man. I worry about. I don't want anything. I don't want anything to happen to the man, and I know it's a selfish reason,
yeah, yeah. No,
but
I
it's
mean,
it's.
I don't give a fuck about Biden himself. Yeah, I agree with you though.
I
I
mean,
don't want anything to happen to him either.
I
For
don't want anybody to be killed. Understand that? Not at all. But I also don't want to see Kamala Harris go into power right away
right, right.
because
Let's give it like a year or so, guys. Come on,
that's
like
what I
let's.
that's what I'm having the most challenges about because if
Well,
I mean at least I don't think Biden is going to be as quite as I don't even know the right word. I want to say he's a
gonna
good
be quite
battle.
as authoritarian, maybe, because she's clearly gonna be way more authoritarian than he would. Not that he won't be, but I'm saying she is another level
But
beyond
I mean at least
him.
it's 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 funny to me that the president is a buffer but that's to think of him as that. But that's what this is going to be for Biden. He's going to be a buffer between, to try and balance out some of the crazy that's going to be trying to come at him. Because I don't buy into him being quite as liberal or as progressive as his party is,
Right? Yeah, he's certainly not. Yeah.
especially as progressive as his running mate is, because she is
Right.
like she's capital P progressive.
Well, at least in speech.
Right.
I don't think she actually believes any of that. I mean, she had no problem locking up tons of black people before. So,
Well, yeah, but I guess it all comes down to what they try and put into action. That's what it comes down to. Because
right.
that authoritarianism, that probably is, because I mean the policing that's going to go on with social media is scary as hell. And that was the other part of the speech that you didn't talk about yet, and so we'll take a few minutes real quick and talk about that, because that was the latter part of the speech. Am I in agreement that you thought that was a very, like, sincere plea to
Oh yeah,
them
that
to
was.
stop stepping on free speech?
I don't know if it was sincere as much as it was. Uh, that was more Trumpian. Like the first half, like we were talking about, was very polished. It was very Trump, or very not Trump. And then the second half was much more Trump. You're talking about something that's actually happening as opposed to, flowery language and, uh, like idealism, I guess.
Do you think he was more speaking to about himself being shut out, or was he actually
Mm,
defending everyone that is being shut out of social media right now?
I don't
Whether
know.
it be a platform or whether it be individual users or whatever.
I don't know. Obviously, I'm not a mind reader, but
I just wondered your impression,
no,
what you
yeah,
got
yeah,
from
yeah.
it. Do you think that was more me, let me back on,
He would have
or
said that if it was. If it was
gotcha?
that, he was like, they're censoring me. I'm the most oppressed president there's ever been. There's no one ever been as oppressed as me. Like that would have been more like that if he was talking about himself.
Hmm.
So I don't think so. But at the same time, I mean, who the fuck knows now? I mean, I have no idea. But we should move over to the chat for a little bit because there's going to be a riot in there soon if we don't notice Ed.
Okay, so Ed said, all right, I gotta go see if there's a riddle I'm missing. No,
Yeah, I didn't see a riddle,
he says
so
there's
I
already
don't.
no confidence in him. Biden is our Ron says
Yeah.
Biden is our leader. He will. Oh, sorry, I can't find anything to rhyme with snail.
Fail, maybe I
Henry's
suppose.
here. Good to see you, Henry. Biden
Hey,
is my
Henry.
leader. He can lead these nuts into his.
I don't know if you want your nuts in that mouth though. That's a
Wow.
pretty old man mouth. I don't know.
Hilton said it is
Uh,
mumbling Biden's sacred duty to head the worship services of the Holy Religious Order of Rape the World Government.
damn right.
What
I like
riddle
it.
is Ed talking about? So was it something that went into D Live? Oh,
I didn't see. Is
look
there?
in D Live and see if he gave something with a. I don't see it in the chat that went
I don't
by
see
him.
it on Deep Live either. Yeah, he doesn't have a riddle. He just blue balled us on riddles. God damn it, Ed.
I don't know what he's talking about unless there's nothing deleted. Answer my riddle, Senpai. So
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's talking to you, me,
We are
we.
senpai. We are
Uh,
senpai.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Uh, but sorry, Ed, we were talking. We kind of have a
The
show to do, and
show's not all about you.
you
You
know,
got your own show, Ed. All
we
right.
sorry we don't have structured times where we go and talk to the chat like some organized people. But
Right, you with
God,
better organization skills than us. I do not see anything by you, and
his
that is
first message is already no confidence in him. That's way okay. Did it get washed away and Ron? No. Your first
yeah. I don't
message that
see.
I see on
Yeah,
here, and John, you'd have to go back on D Live. I don't have it pulled up. It says there's
uh,
already no confidence in him.
that's the first one that I see. Yeah.
So, did you say something you weren't supposed to, and it got censored on your end?
No, it would have said message deleted.
Because
So I don't
I'm
know.
willing to address your riddle right
I
now,
would love
live on the air.
live on the air. I would
All
love to
you
answer.
have to do is do us the courtesy of retyping it, because unless
Yeah,
somebody else knows what you're talking about, we can't see it.
we don't. Maybe that's the riddle. Maybe the riddle, the real riddle, tell
There's
the friends we made along the way.
there's already no confidence in him. Is he
But
talking
the
about
A is
Trump?
capitalized.
There's
Hmm.
already no confidence in him.
No, he said, I wonder if Susan censored me for triple parentheses. It's possible.
Oh,
We didn't see
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, you
So that means
probably
it never
killed
got sent.
something you did with those parentheses killed your own thing.
I thought you were talking about like the fact that the A in already, which is the second word in the sentence, is capitalized, whereas the first letter of the first word in that sentence is not.
Right.
It's like maybe there's something there.
Thoroughly
Like
not
I thought you were
grammatical,
gonna
right? And it's
yeah, I thought you were
so
going with some kind of complicated,
there's a deep
check out
mystery.
my right. But no, apparently he's just dumb. Love you, Ed.
Also, where is Crowder? He hasn't posted in a long time. Wyatt asks. I'm not
I
sure.
don't know. I don't
Maybe
follow Crowder that much, so I really don't. I don't have the answer for you.
maybe it's not a good time for trying to have your mind changed out there.
Right.
Somebody wants to change your mind, they're going to do it with a baseball bat at this point in time. Calm down, folks. Calm down. All
Well,
right.
Ed, maybe try it without the parentheses, I suppose. I don't
Right.
know. Yeah.
And, I mean, does it need parentheses? Is that important? Or I don't know. Maybe it thought it was a math
Well,
equation, but it couldn't solve it.
we'll assume the triple parentheses, or just like write it out without the parentheses, and then the next line be like, "Oh, this is what was supposed to be parenthetical," and then put
It's,
that word there, and
I'm
so then
just,
we can imply or infer, I guess.
see, I'm imagining he was using multiple sets of parentheses, but that tells me the riddle was about boobs,
Yeah, boobs.
because he was using the
Really.
parentheses to make boobs.
Right. It wasn't about a certain group of people who may or may not have larger noses than most.
Is there such a thing as, I don't know. Don't educate me, because I don't want to hear how stupid it can get. Yeah, because I'm already done with all these new age hate symbols. Can't.
Well, real quick though, Ed did just donate a diamond over on D
Diamond.
Live. He said he got censored on parenthetically too.
So he said he sent it with the diamond. Do you see the riddle?
Well, no, there's no riddle there. He just said I got censored
Oh,
on
did he
on the
send a
two.
diamond earlier?
No,
Oh,
we've only gotten two donations on D Live. Oh wait. I do see one from Ed. There is a diamond from way back.
early in the show. So just
Wait,
no.
hang on.
Oh,
So yeah, there's actually like three diamonds from him. Why don't we have it? Doesn't show up on here. That's weird. He said, "Show nips, please." That was the first diamond that he donated.
when was that? That sounds like an
Oh, you know what? That might have been a previous show,
right.
because D Live saves it all. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah,
Yeah,
send it
because
wherever you need to, Ed.
yeah,
'Cause-
I think we've determined if you send a message with a donation, I don't know that it doesn't pop up
right,
on
but
the
I have both chats
chats.
pulled up.
It doesn't pop
I
up
have
on the
both.
restream chats, is what I'm
Right.
saying. So I don't see him on any of these chats here. John's got to go search for it on D
Well,
Live.
Ed just sent me a Discord DM.
Oh, okay. So
He called me an idiot, so I'm not even gonna
is
respond
this?
because that's just mean.
Yeah, don't let him know you know he called you an idiot,
Right. I'm not going to. He's gonna have no idea.
right? Is the riddle something we can say on air?
Apparently not. So it has to do with a certain group of people, like I said, who have larger than average noses and prefer having money.
Okay,
And
so leprechauns.
right, and two as well. So like an amalgamation of the first word and then two.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
You'll have to send it to me, and we'll laugh about it off mic then, I guess, or try and figure it
Yes.
out if it's actually something deep. But I'm guessing it's more of a meme than a riddle.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
more for me.
Sorry, Ed. Sorry we missed that, but not sorry if it would have gotten us kicked off because if that's your goal, thanks, pal. Like, come on, we do a good enough job of getting ourselves in trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't
But
need your help. All we need are a couple seconds of copyrighted material. We got ourselves in trouble just fine.
jeez Louise. I freaked out because I was saying the name of a song earlier, and I'm like,
Right,
oh,
yeah.
am I going to get in trouble for saying the name of the song if
You
I don't
can
get the
apparently get in
artist right?
trouble. You can apparently get in trouble just for saying the lyrics of the song.
That's insane to me. I'm
It's
sorry,
it's
it's
yeah,
insane.
absolutely incredible.
Just FYI, folks out there that have your little copyrights on your fancy music, just putting it out there. If we play your music on our show, it's nothing but advertising for you. That's a song that someone will go, oh, hey, let me jump on the Apple Store or let me jump on my Google Play and let me go get it, let me buy that song or make it a little more popular by listening to it on my paid for streaming service. Whatever it is, you know,
Yeah.
we're not hurting you. We're helping you.
Yeah, we're not
So
even
just
monetized. So
right.
like it's really not a problem. Anybody.
So
Like
so anybody that wants to ding us for your copyright, I have to say, I'm sorry, ding this. Um,
ding this dingaling.
but
Bitch.
I don't know if that's rude to say or if that's but I mean that's just kind of how I feel. I
I
mean
think it's an open invitation more than anything else. I don't think it's like rude. I think it's an invitation.
I mean
Invitation always polite.
right. I mean we've never played
Yeah.
anything so much that like I don't know really,
We certainly haven't
and we're
played
not.
something and they've been like, "This is ours. We made." That certainly hasn't happened.
Here, let me put it this way: we're not playing it at a quality level that anybody wants
right.
to rip it. Let's just
Right.
understand we're not that good. Okay,
right. That ain't us.
so enjoy your copyright is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. He's Ed says Stephen got that riddle the first time he sent it to him.
Yeah, well, maybe Steven's smarter than us, you know? You ever consider that? Maybe we're just two fucking
If
idiots.
it's about the topic you said it is, maybe you guys just have more hate in your heart. I'm
That's
just
true.
I'm just saying, maybe.
Can't believe someone has so much hate in their heart.
Sing it, John.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe, no, don't sing it. I don't think you could carry a tune in a bucket.
no, I
Uh,
couldn't. I couldn't. I can't. I don't know what my hang up is, but yeah, I'm completely flat. Like, I do not. I can't. Yeah, no. Doesn't.
All right.
You guys heard me sing. I mean, no, stop it.
All that remains to be seen is to find out what happens in the Senate with this impeachment thing. That's that. I don't expect anything's going to come of it. I don't think it's going to go through, but I also don't think that they're going to find any way to oust him before the inauguration, which is, and to be honest with you, if you want to avoid the larger amount of negative repercussion, just leave the man be. He keeps saying, "All right, I'm ready to just hand it over
Yeah.
peacefully.
They can't do that though.
I'm
And it's
re-
for the
I
same reason that I said plenty of times before, is that as soon as they give him some, because they spent so long saying he's Hitler, he's Hitler, he's Hitler, that as soon as they give him anything, as soon as they're like, oh, well, Trump did this all right, well, then they're praising Hitler, and you can't do that, right? That's the whole reason behind it. He cannot, the Orange Man must be bad. It always comes down to that. Orange Man must be bad. Regardless of what he does, he could cure cancer and he would be, castigated in the media for, I don't know, getting rid of scientist jobs, cutting sciences because now they don't have to go look for the cure for cancer anymore. You know what I mean? Like it would always be Orange Man bad.
well, I'm going to go on the record as saying this: if if the Democratic Party, which is largely behind this, really cares so little about the American public that they're willing to continue doing something that is going to cause more discord amongst the public,
Mm-hmm.
then they no longer have serious consideration for my vote
Well, that's not the only thing
barring
they want.
barring something major. You know, I mean, they would have to have like a legitimate candidate that wasn't just. But
Now,
I
Robert,
have
there
no,
are
I have
two
no reason to
reasons.
to even consider that party as legitimate if this is the kind of thing they're going to continue with.
There are two reasons for you to exist, according to them, Robert. Two reasons. One, so that you'll vote for them, and two, so you'll pay taxes to them. That's it. Other than those two things, they could give a shit less about you. They
Well,
do not care about you whatsoever. Those are the only two things why they don't just mow people down the street. Is because then they'll lose votes and they'll lose tax revenue. That's it.
well, they should, you know, uh, I don't know. They should just really seriously reconsider the actions they're taking, in my opinion.
I mean,
Um,
obviously,
I mean, no,
yeah. I mean,
just from the standpoint of the impact on the American public.
yeah, they don't care. They don't care. They
Well,
don't.
that's the problem. That's
Yeah.
that's why I
No
say,
shit.
so I mean, it's fuck. It's just like I don't know. It's insane to me. It really is. It really is that it's just like, oh, can we get an emergency session in place on the 19th? Can we do that? No.
Yeah, we got to kick him out
No.
the day before.
No, this is not an emergency that you get him out of office just so you can say you did it. Jesus Christ. Talk about wanting to have the last word in an argument,
For real, yeah.
right? And just so you know, Democrats in Washington, that's what every male in the world labels as a psycho girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
She always has to have the last word. She just goes on and on. She won't just fucking let it go. She's fucking psychotic. That's you. Because you won't just let it go. Let the transition happen.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you look at government in general, not just Democrats and certainly not just Republicans, look at government in general. The American people are in an abusive relationship. Like, if you take all the psychological telltale signs of being in an abusive relationship and apply that to government and the people, they check most of the boxes, if not all.
It's,
Like, it's insane.
it is
They
insane.
really do. Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, the insanity is too much to think about. I want to thank everybody for being here. Sorry, Ed, that you kind of,
We're
it's kind of
stupid.
your own fucking fault. But anyway,
Yeah.
uh, you
Agreed.
know, look at what you tried to say on national TV. I always
National.
wanted to say
I
that
guess
it's
technically, I
it's
guess
not real, but national
technically we
TV,
are national TV, right? Or not
right?
TV
Right.
necessarily, but we are
Depends on what
national
the monitor is, right? What monitor
because
they're using,
we have all kinds of viewers from all over the country.
right?
So
Right. We could be on TVs. You
sometimes,
never know,
sometimes we have an international audience when Eliza shows up.
right? There you
She's in
go.
Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody showing up tonight. Those of you that were in the chat, those of you that are lurking, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. John, if you could you tell these wonderful people where they can find us after the fact and hear some of your hilarious comments and stuff like that in the interim between shows?
Yes, absolutely. In our description, we have our Twitter, which is at the Gen Gap P, our Discord server, which is awesome and fun,
And fun?
and fun, awesome and fun. We've also got a subscribe star. So if you're passing affection for us, you like the stuff we do, you want to support us so we can keep doing it, you can give us some money there. But also, there's perks involved in that as well. So whenever you give us money, you're not just giving it to us to do the same things we're doing now. You get extra stuff on top of that.
Right.
Yes, pretty great. And then we also have freedomscoop.com. Freedom Scoop. You can find all of our stuff and other lesser and unimportant creators like Jay Edgar. He's over there.
Is he?
Stephen Ignoramus.
Is he?
He is. He is indeed. Uh, Mr. R-rated conservative.
Mm-hmm.
He's over there. Wyatt on the Breakdown with Birkenhoff is over there as well. And the Freckles and Brit show. So make sure you go and check those people out. After you check out all of our stuff first, we're priority number one, of course.
Of course.
Speaking of being priority number one, we're selling merch over there. You can buy our t-shirts, you can buy our mugs. We got all that kind of stuff, which is fun. And exclusive to us, except for with an asterisk, a few other people. We have a we have a promo code. If you put that in at checkout, you get 15% off. That promo code, of course, is GenGap. So make sure you do that because you don't want to pay full price for things. Who does that? It is like some kind of fucking socialist bullshit. No, you want to get your promo code GenGap, put it in there, get your stuff 15% off.
We're rolling back.
That's right.
I didn't say anything. We're just rolling back.
Savings. Savings.
All right, so we'll get the hell out of here for the night. We will be back again on Friday for our regular show. That's at 8:30 p.m. We'll also be coming back again, hopefully on Monday, for another episode of Filling the Gap. Try and bring a little humor into your midweek life. Then we'll have that's at 9:30 p.m. and then we'll again be back next Wednesday, following that for another rousing episode of Shooting the Shit at 9:30. Oh, get love for our OnlyFans page. I love that.
There's peak pics on the internet. That's right.
But all those times, of course, are Eastern time, the one and only true time zone. Versus the rest who are all posers, of course.
Right.
We're going to get the hell out of here. Thanks again, everyone, for being here. John, thanks for stopping by. Have fun with these next few days. It's going to be an interesting place to be. I'm just saying, nothing like being in America right now. This is the time.
It's pretty crazy.
All right, we're going to get the hell out of here. Have a great night, folks. Peace out.
Yep, see you guys.